What's going on, you guys? It's Brad here. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm going to cover step by step how to buy your first rental property. I bought my first rental property at 21 years old and I've been a licensed real estate agent for 5 years now. Owning rental properties can help create wealth fast and have so many benefits such as passive income, appreciation, having other people pay down your loan for you, and loads of tax benefits. If you ever thought about investing in real estate, then please be sure to listen to this video through the end because I'm going to be providing a ton of valuable information. This is the type of video I wish I had access to before I went out and purchased my first rental. Thank you guys so much for visiting my channel. I really appreciate you. And if you could, please click that like button. It really helps me to grow my channel so I can keep making videos just like this. Okay guys, let's get this video started. Okay, before you get started, or step number 0, you absolutely need to have money set aside for a down payment. A lender typically wants to see between 15 and 20% down, meaning for every $100,000, you'll need to have at least $15,000 to $20,000 saved. Now there is another strategy known as house hacking where you classify the investment as your primary residence and you can put down as little as 3.5%, which is what I actually did for my first investment property. This strategy is a bit different and may not appeal to many people. I made a video where I go more in depth about the strategy, so please be sure to check it out. Today, we are just going to cover investment properties where you are not living in them. So 15 to 20% down is what lenders like to see. Obviously, if you only have $2,000 saved, you're probably not ready to start shopping, which is fine. Keep stacking up your money because you will get there in no time. Learn these strategies that I'm teaching so when it comes time, you're more than prepared. So now that you have enough money saved up, the first step is getting pre-approved for a loan on the property. In order to get a loan, you will typically need to have a minimum of 2 years employment. Having 2 years of employment or showing proof of income over the past 24 months will give the bank confidence to approve you for a loan. However, 2 years of income and a savings for a down payment is not enough. You will also need to have good credit. Having a good credit score is very important and can in some cases be the difference between getting approved or denied for a loan. Also, the lower your credit score is, the higher your interest rates will be, which means less money in your pocket at the end of every month. If your credit is, let's say, under 600 and you have debt on a few different credit cards and maybe are in collections, you're probably not ready just yet. Spend time building up your credit and paying down your debt first. I'm going to make another video that talks all about credit, so make sure you tune in. Ideally, you'll want to have your credit score be above 760. The higher your credit score, the better rates you will have on a mortgage. Okay, so now that you have a good credit score, enough money in savings for a down payment, and 2 years of income, you are ready to reach out to a lender and get pre-approved for a loan, which leads me to step number 2. Now, finding a lender is as simple as going online and researching local lenders in your area. I would recommend interviewing 3 different lenders and see which one fits best for you. Let them know that you're planning on buying an investment property and ask them if they have any experience with this. If they don't, simply choose another lender. It's very important to choose a lender who's quick and responsive because they will be guiding you through the process and most importantly, providing you with numbers. Do not have the lender run your credit score. Instead, tell them what your credit score is. You don't want a hard pull on your credit just yet. If you don't know what your credit score is, I highly recommend visiting creditkarma.com. Once you find a lender you are comfortable with, you will work with them to get a pre-approval letter. Getting a pre-approval letter can be fairly quick and take less than 24 hours if you have everything lined up. Okay guys, step number 3 is to become a master at analyzing deals. I can't stress this enough. So now you've gotten a pre-approval from your lender and you have an idea where you're going to buy. Should you just do it? My answer is no, and here's why. In my opinion, learning how to analyze deals is the single most important skill an investor can have. Before I bought my first property, I analyzed at least 50 different deals and I became really good at it. You'll want to be sure that you understand what your costs are and how much the property can actually rent for. Understanding what a property can rent for is very important. If you don't know the answer to this, just reach out to any local property manager or real estate agent. They will be able to tell you what any property can rent for within a matter of minutes. When analyzing deals, I take a hard look at two things. One, monthly cash flow, which is the dollars that I end up with in profit every single month. I want that to be a few $100 minimum on a single family house. And number two, cash on cash return. The return your money made in a year compared to how much you invested. For an example, say you invested $10 into an investment and made $1 back that first year. That's 10%, not too bad. 10% cash on cash return is a good ballpark to look for. Some investors say lower, some say higher. So now that you became a master at analyzing deals, what's next? Step number 4 is to start shopping for properties. And this is one of my favorite parts. At this point, you need to start looking at properties for sale and determining if the numbers could work out. When first starting out, I highly recommend working with a good real estate agent. Having a good real estate agent by your side can make a night and day difference. If you've watched any other of my videos, you probably know that I am a real estate agent myself, so I already had knowledge in my local market. Find an agent that has knowledge in your local market. Physically go to the properties that could be a fit and walk through them. Touch it, feel it, see it. I like to touch and feel the property that I'm potentially going to buy. I would recommend going to see at least 15 homes. This way, you'll get a feel for what's out there and be able to compare other properties. Now guys, also be sure to ask your agent for properties for sale in the areas you are looking in and for the price point you want. They will send you a list that fits your criteria. Also be sure to check on sites like Zillow and Realtor.com. Typically, the best rental properties are the ones that fall in the middle of the price range. I wouldn't buy anything that's on the really low end or anything that's on the really high end. Now that's not to say it can't be done, because many investors have done it successfully on the high end and the low end. My sweet spot is right in the middle, maybe a little bit below. I would look for something in the middle that maybe needs a little bit of cosmetic work that you can add value to. It is important to note that you should determine what type of property you want to invest in before going out and looking. I like to look for single family and multi-family properties. Personally, I would stay away from condos because of the high HOA fees that can eat away from your monthly cash flow and profits. You simply have no control over these fees. Once you find a deal, make sure to analyze it and find the monthly cash flow. Since you have become a master deal analyzer, this shouldn't be a problem. Step number 5, guys, is to start making offers. Now don't get intimidated or caught up on this step, because it's really not that difficult. Your real estate agent will be writing up the offer for you and guiding you through the process. The more offers you make, the better. You are going to get rejected, and that's okay. It's also okay to put in an offer for lower than the listing price. However, be careful not to go too low, because that runs the risk of the owner not giving you a counteroffer. Once again, your agent should be able to help you determine what a fair offer price is. Before you put an offer in, you should be running the numbers on the deal to make sure it works. It's important to set your absolute highest offer price where the numbers still work. Be sure to never get emotionally attached and never go over that price. Congratulations guys, assuming you got a deal under contract, it is now time to do your due diligence on the property, which leads me to step number 6. When you do get your first property under contract, you're going to have to pay what's called an earnest money deposit. Earnest money is usually around 1% of the purchase price. So on a $100,000 property, it might be $1,000. And it's basically your pledge. You're saying, here's this $1,000 promise that I'm not going to just walk away from this deal and screw you out of all the weeks and hassle in your time. Now typically you will have 7 days to do an inspection on the property. I would recommend hiring a good home inspector. Meet your home inspector at the property and walk through it with them. You want to make sure there are no major damages to the house that you may have missed when first walking through. Inspect as many things as you possibly can, because the more problems you find, you can use to negotiate to get the price down. It never hurts to ask, and a lot of times you can get credit on the house. Find out exactly how much these issues are going to cost and rerun your numbers to make sure the deal still works. During the process, you're going to be reworking your numbers many times. During your inspection period, you can still back out of the offer and get your earnest money deposit back. Step number 7 is understanding your closing costs. During your inspection period, reach out to your loan officer and let them know your offer got accepted and you would like to know what your closing costs will be. Usually, closing costs are 1% of the purchase price. So if your purchase price is $200,000, your closing costs would be $2,000. Make sure to calculate these costs into your deal. Congratulations guys, you now own a rental property, but the journey has just begun. Step number 8 is effectively managing your rental. Maybe you're planning to use a professional property manager and they usually charge around 10% of the monthly rent for their ongoing fee. Probably they're going to do wonderful, but they will never look out for your property as their own and can eat into your profits every month. When you self-manage, you will find the tenants yourself and save a bunch of money, but it will cost you more of your time. You will have to determine which is the better trade-off. Okay guys, with all that being covered, thank you so much for watching. I'm really curious to hear about where you live and what your goals are for real estate, so drop a comment below so I can connect with you. Be sure to hit that like button, it really means a lot and helps me out. I hope you guys take this information and put it into action. Thank you so much and I'll see you next time.